Hello, accountability buddies. This is Les from Less is More Healthy, or welcome to another episode of Less is More Healthy. I'm coming to you from the car on my way to work, trying to maximize the time as I drive into work. Sorry, that I'm getting a little ridiculous. I'm a little punchy this morning, um, and that's okay. So, maximizing the drive into work, getting some stuff done as I'm driving. It's only 30 minutes, 45 minutes as I drive. But anyway, I want to make the most out of this time as I'm driving. I am not going for a walk this morning, um, and that's a-okay. To not go for a walk in the morning. I'm gonna try. My goal for this week is to try and get out after work at least one day, if not two. I want to do 2 days this week to go for a walk after work. And this is going to be a struggle. It is going to be a very hot week. We've got thunder showers predicted after, in the late afternoons. And yeah, it's just gonna be super hot. It's already, so it's 8:15. It is in the 80s already, which is crazy. It's 81 degrees in my driveway, um, which is usually a pretty cool spot in the morning, but it's roasting already. It's a little cooler. I'm right on the bay right now, so it's like not quite 80 yet. So the prediction is mid 80s, super humid, thunder showers and rain in the afternoons, and like brief rains, like just a quick afternoon shower and then it's done. Um, so I may or may not be able to get out for a walk. We're gonna see if that happens. I really want to. That's a goal to do it after work as well as before work. In the winter, I'll be back to always doing it before work. I'm really looking forward to fall. I'm not going to lie. September and October, November, my favorite times of year. So anyway, the that's that. I'm going to try and get out for a walk. I've not eaten yet this morning. I've just found, like, first thing in the morning, I'm not super hungry, and I've been forcing myself to drink my shake, and I think that's at least part of what is upsetting my stomach. So instead of doing that, I brought my shake with me in a mason jar. I found out, I was diving deep on YouTube, that you can get drink shakers, the little metal balls. Is like a whisk that goes inside a jar. And you get those shaker bottles to mix your protein shakes, and you can get the balls just on their own. So I'm going to order a few of those so that I can just have a bunch of mason jars with the 2 scoops of powder in it. And I can just take it with me super easy, because that is part of the problem. Is like, I feel like I have to drink it at home, but maybe what I need to do is drink it a little later in the day. But that will mean that I'm not going to have my fiber powder in it. Um, and so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start having the fiber powder uh, in the evening. Um, so yeah, so that's some planning in terms of like feeling a little healthier, doing some healthier stuff. Um, and Ooh, there's a cyclist on the wrong side of the road. I really hate that. It's super dangerous. Ride on the same side of the road as traffic. Be on the sidewalk if you have to, but don't ride on the wrong side of the road. That's how you get in an accident. Beside the point, the thing that I wanted to talk about today are dream shitters. That's what I call them in my daily life. Someone who just takes a steaming dump on something that you're interested in, something you're exploring. Like, they're just generally not, they think they're being supportive in telling you, you know, what's wildly wrong about your dream, why your dream won't work. They're giving you the real deal. Um, but they're just incredibly negative. Um, an example that I want to use for this is a conversation that I had with someone, and I'm not going to use names here or tell you who these people are. You just know that I have several dream dumpers, dream shitters in my life. For YouTube, I'm going to call it a dream dumper. Although I've already said shit now a dozen times. So, um, I've got a number of dream dumpers in my life. They just take steaming dumps on dreams, ideas, and things I'm interested in. And so when I first picked up cycling again, now keep in mind that riding a bike is something that I've done since I was really small. I think I started riding a bike when I was like 8 or 9. Got my first mountain bike in my when I was like 11 or 12. So anyway, cycling, biking is something I'm very interested in, and have been for the majority of my life. Um, so anyway, this person found out that I was sort of starting in up on cycling again, and immediately shared with me a story about a cyclist that they knew, um, where the cyclist had gotten into an accident, and the cyclist hadn't died, but the other person who was in the accident had died, and then the cyclist never rode again. And it was just like, why are you sharing this story with me? And then, another person that I know, I was talking about like getting into cycling again, and they're like talking about all the people that they knew that cycled that had been hit by cars. And, I know that's a reality. I've been hit by a car. Granted, I wasn't badly hurt, but again, it's like, why are you sharing an incredibly negative, traumatizing story with me about something that you're finding out that I'm really interested in? Why are you sharing a scary, scary story with me? And the reason that this is coming up is I was having a conversation with someone uh, the other day, and they I was talking about um, riding like the trails, and how there's a new rail trail system that people are trying to get one of the old railways that goes completely across the United States. They're trying to connect all those old rail trails together, and how it's like this huge volunteer effort, and people are working on it, volunteering their time, blah blah blah. Um, and then, there are people that have cycled the whole thing, or are starting to cycle the whole thing. And, this person immediately started talking about, oh, that's rich people stuff. That's something that only, rich people can afford to do. And, so I of course, countered that with, well, you can also do what's called a section, of it. You can pick like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this, many sections of this trail, and then do another section of it and another section until you complete the whole thing. And my point being is, like, you don't have to do the whole trail all in one go. Like, yes, some people do, and people save up to do that, but beside the point. This person's point was like, how can you afford to do that? You can't take months off of work to do it. And it's like, well, some people do, in fact, plan their vacation time around this thing. Um, they plan their time off, they take sabbaticals, and they do this thing. Or they plan their sections around their vacation time, and they do a week here, 5 days there, a week here, and so on and so forth until they complete it. A lot of people section hike the larger, longer hikes like the Appalachian Trail, the Pacific Crest, all of those trails, like people section them all the time. And it's the same for the cycling trips. You don't have to do the whole thing across the United States. But beside the point, like, this person was just being super negative. They're like anxious about the idea that I might want to do something like that. Here's an adventurous, exciting thing that I'm talking about. It's like, this is a cool thing that people do. I wasn't even telling this person that I would want to do it, but they immediately started dumping on it. And it's like, it's a terrible thing to do, right? Like, to dump on someone's, like, here's a thing that I'm interested about and I find it really exciting, and they're just gonna poop on it. So, but here's the thing: dream dumpers, dream shitters, whatever you want to call them, I think we should feel really bad for them, because I think that their reaction to something exciting and interesting comes from their own depression, their own anxiety. They've had people in their lives who've dumped on their dreams, have taken a giant steaming shit on the things that they're interested in. Because I don't think that being a dream dumper is something that is natural for people. I think it's something that people learn through experience. Either they've had negative experiences doing things, or someone has dumped on their dreams in the past. And I think oftentimes, like, one of the people that I talked to, that I had one of these experiences with, where they were, really taking a steaming shit on my dream, um, was from their own anxieties. It came out of like their actual clinical levels of anxiety. It had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with them. And I think that that is the big thing to remember when someone takes a steaming shit on the thing that you love, is that it's not about you. And I'm saying this to me, like, because these conversations hurt, right? It's like, why are you being so negative? Why can't you just be supportive for once? Um, and there may come a time when I actually call out that behavior and say, wow, you're being really negative right now, what's going on? Or what's going on, that's your reaction. And yeah, that's a little therapy esque for general conversations, and not necessarily something that I would want to do with friends or family. But also, I think sometimes in any relationship, when you're starting to set boundaries, it's super uncomfortable. But setting those boundaries with people is super important. And also, part of setting boundaries, at least for me, is labeling bad behavior. And I'm just going to call it bad behavior because I don't really know what else to call it. Like, labeling these bad behaviors of like being super negative in response to something that's interesting. It's like, why you got to label that behavior, or it's going to continue. As if you're not calling out someone's poor behavior, that is an open door for them to continue with their poor behavior. But that is all sort of beside the point. Well, actually, it's all part of the point, I think. But I really just wanted to kind of rant about dream dumpers, because it's really hard to be around. Here I am working on my physical health and my mental health, which is just, it's like a benefit. The healthier my body gets, the better my mind feels, right? It my riding my bike, cycling, it goes hand in hand. The physical aspect and the mental health aspect, it's not one or the other. They work really well together, and because I'm working on one, I'm working on the other, and the more I continue to work on them, the better I feel altogether. So yeah, I it was really hard to like have those couple of conversations over the last few months, as I start to like explore some of the things that I really want to do with this cycling thing, and places I might want to go. Um, and having someone that's a naysayer um, say rotten stuff really stings. So I think that's just, it's a reminder to me that it's not about me. It's about them. Anytime someone says something negative, it's really not me, it's really them. And I got to remember to repeat that to myself again and again and again every time that comes up, because it's going to come up again and again and again, because some of these people, you can't cut them out of your life. Like, if you got family that are naysayers and dream shitters, you can't cut them out of your, well, you can. And I've cut family out of my life before because it's necessary. But there's some family members that maybe I don't want to cut out of my life. Maybe there are friends that I've known for years and years and years and years, and I want to keep them in my life. But anyway, like, that's that is the important thing. That's the thing to remember today, is dream dumpers, dream shitters, naysayers, negative Nancy's, whatever you want to call them. If they're in your life, it's not about you, it's about them. They're incredibly self-centered. They don't necessarily realize that they're being unhelpful. They think they're being helpful, and sometimes you got to label that behavior. tell them they're being shitty and that it hurts. And that's not going to be a piece of cake. So anyway, that's the most therapeutic episode I think I've ever shot on this. Um, so with that, I thank you, and I will see you